Painter and decorator Ronald Fuller was leaving his house at Parkside Grays at about 7:45 on Tuesday, August 29th, when he was shot several times on his doorstep by a lone male motorcyclist. Neighbours heard a number of shots fired and saw the assailant wearing a crash helmet make off from the scene towards the old A13 via King Edward Drive on a modern style step-through motor scooter displaying L plates. Mr. Fuller died about 40 minutes later at Basildon Hospital without regaining consciousness. In the house at the time of the shooting were Ronald's partner and 4-year-old son. The murder was cold and calculating and displayed all the hallmarks of a contract-style killing. The previous year, Ronald had been working as a doorman at the Len Epping Forest Country Club. Following an incident at the club during which a man had died, Ronald had been arrested for public order offences, but there was no apparent link found between the incidents. Ronald's partner and brother, Terry Fuller, appealed for information at a press conference. The suspect is described as white, slim, athletic build, and about 5'7" tall, with mousy hair. He was wearing a black 3/4 length jacket with a built-in belt, probably leather, dark trousers, boots and gloves. His crash helmet was predominantly black with a yellow pattern towards the back. The scooter is described as having a W prefix and ending with the letters VMX, or a very slight variation. 2 men in a van seen in Parkside in the run-up to the murder between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. They were dressed as manual workers and were white and in their 20s. As detectives today stepped up their hunt for the hitman who gunned down a South Essex decorator, the shock effects were still being felt in the street where he lived and died. When a gangland hit takes place in a quiet suburban street, how did the law-abiding citizens living nearby come to terms with such an outrage? On the morning of Tuesday, August 29th, Gray's decorator Ronald Fuller was brutally gunned down by a cold-blooded killer. 4 shots rang out at 7:45 a.m, breaking the silence of just another ordinary Thurrock street, Parkside, as Mr. Fuller fell to the ground yards from his front gate. His common-law wife ran screaming from their bungalow where they lived with their 3-year-old son. Shortly after 8 p.m, Mr. Fuller was pronounced dead at Basildon Hospital. His 30 years brought abruptly to an end by 2 shots each to his head and body from a 9mm gun. More than a month after the dramatic slayings, local people were still trying to make sense of what happened, but fear still pervades Parkside. Not one of the neighbours that Echo spoke to was willing to be named, and all said they were trying to put the incident behind them. However, one admitted, "Until the killer is found and locked up, none of us will feel truly safe." It has left everybody shocked and bewildered that something like this can happen in such a quiet, orderly neighbourhood. The feeling it has left everybody with is one of bewilderment more than anything, although some people are worried that house prices in the street may have been affected. Another neighbour, who awoke that morning to find dozens of police officers and vehicles outside his front door, said it was a great shock. Nobody really speaks about it now because, to be honest, people just want to forget that it's happened here. Another added that he did not know the family, as they had only been living there for a few months. "I knew them to say hello to if they were ever passing by and I was out in the front. They looked like an ordinary family. There's no way of knowing that this sort of thing could happen in a quiet area like this. I think everybody is hoping to put it out of their minds and get on with things." One resident was particularly anxious not to discuss the shooting, saying, "It's got nothing to do with me, you or anyone else who lives around here. We just want to forget it ever happened." Police are still hunting the killer, who is believed to have escaped on a scooter along King Edward Drive and the old A13. Detective Inspector Chief Haynes of Essex Police Major Investigation Team said, "We are still pursuing a lot of leads and remain hopeful that we will catch the killer. It will take time, but we are confident that we will get to the bottom of this." Meanwhile, the residents of Parkside Grays are determined to put the events of August 29th behind them. One neighbour said, "I don't know why he was shot and I don't want to know."